In today's video, we are going to be discussing one of my favorite topics to talk about, and that is personal credit. I will be sharing with you 7 of my personal tips that I use still to this day to continuously build my credit. Hello everyone, my name is Mariah. I am a small business owner, and on this channel I like to help you with business tips. First, I want to start off by discussing what is credit. Credit is defined as the ability of a customer to obtain goods or services before payment, based on the trust that payment will be made in the future. So I wanted to give a short little statement. I have been working on my credit for the last 7+ years. I first started working on it, of course, when I turned 18, because I knew with great credit, it would open so many doors for me, and it definitely has. I have been able to obtain multiple cars that are fully paid off, a home before the age of 22, and much more. When you have good credit, it will help you in emergency situations. Having good credit just makes life more easier. And also, if you want to learn more about building and repairing your personal credit, click the link down below for my $69 credit build and repair one-on-one course. In this course, you will learn everything you need to know to repair your credit and also continuously build your credit and make money using credit cards. How cool is that? Now, here are 7 tips that I use day to day to continuously build my credit. Tip number 1, when starting to build your credit, you want to make sure that you are paying all your bills on time. Late payments can have a negative effect on your credit score. Typically, you want to make sure that you at least pay your credit card off in full each month before the due date. I also have a system to where I pay the credit card that I use the most off at the end of each week. I found this to be the best way for me to keep up with what I owe and to make sure that I am paying my balances off on time. Tip number 2, keep balances low. High credit card balances can also have a negative effect on your credit score. I'll use an example. You have a credit card that has a $1,000 limit. You do not want to spend the whole $1,000, okay? Not unless you know you are going to pay it off in full before the due date. So you want to make sure you're keeping your credit card utilization under 30%. The best would be to keep your credit card utilization under 10%, but a good range would be between 10 to 30%. If you have a credit limit that is $1,000, you want to make sure that you are spending no more than $300. That would be 30% of the $1,000. Or to be even better, you want to make sure that you're keeping that credit card utilization under $100. It is easily doable when you keep in mind that this is what you're doing to build your credit. Keeping your credit card utilization low shows creditors that you are a responsible credit card holder and will ultimately increase your credit score. Tip number 3, monitor your credit report. Regularly check your credit report for any errors or possible fraud. The best way to keep track of your credit report is using the site unused.com. Now, because of COVID, you can check your credit reports every 7 days. What happens if you have any errors on your credit report or you have signs of fraud? You can dispute any errors with each credit bureau. The 3 main credit bureaus is going to be TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You can go to each one of these websites and actually freeze your credit if you detect sign of fraud. You will also have to dispute each error with each credit bureau. Head on over to annualcreditreport.com to check out your credit reports. Tip number 4, don't apply for too much credit in a 1-year period. Too many applications in a short period of time will be a red flag to creditors. If you did not know, to get approved for any type of credit, a creditor will pull your credit report. They will have access to everything you have applied for and how recently you have applied for or how long it's been since you applied for credit. Now, if you have been building your credit and you just start applying for a bunch of credit cards, when a creditor goes to pull your credit report, and let's say you applied for 5 things in the last 3 months, they could deny you even if you have a higher credit score than most people. A rule of thumb is if you are applying for some, make sure that you really need it before you apply, and don't go out applying for multiple things. Tip number 5, don't close unused accounts. Closing old accounts with no activity can hurt your credit score. When it comes to credit, Most creditors are going to want to see how long you have been responsible with your credit. The best thing is to keep the oldest credit account open as long as you possibly can. Now, let's say you had got a credit card maybe 7 years ago. You typically don't use it, but that is going to be your oldest account. So using it once a year will make sure that that credit account stays open and is always going to be on your credit report. Tip number 6. Don't max out your credit cards. As I've mentioned before, high credit card utilizations will drag down your credit score. And if you continuously keep maxing out your credit card, some creditors will decrease your approved balance. What happens when that happens? Your credit score drops. This is something else you need to keep in mind. When you have multiple accounts, all of them are going to get combined together. Let's say you have 3 credit cards. Each of them are worth $1,000. That's going to be $3,000. That is your total credit utilization. And you want to keep that total amount below 30%, or the best would be under 10%. Don't be maxing out your credit cards. If you know you don't have the funds to pay the credit cards back, that will also drop your credit score because you are not paying your balance off in full each month. Tip number 7, build a positive payment history. Making payments on time and keeping balances low will help you build a positive payment history. Now, those are going to be the 7 tips to help you build your credit. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you give it a like, and for more, make sure you subscribe.